Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. Things seem to be going a little better. Let's see what we can do here. Starting out with our normal D4. Okay. A part of me is like, dude, play E4. Just do it. Just play E4. Don't be a chicken. And then I just do this. So, I will play E4 eventually if they continue leaving that available to me. Probably. Okay. I can't go here. Just kind of the standard response to that. I will go here. Not entirely sure about that. Do I want that? Yeah, do I want this pawn structure? Not really. I'm going to do some wild stuff here this game. I don't normally play like this. I'm going to take this way, go here, have this enormous center, castle long, maybe even short, and then tuck him over, put a rook here, and assume I'm probably going to have some sort of attack. But what I'm not going to do is tell myself, okay, now I'm attacking. Because it's not how chess works, and I tend to think that's how chess works. Especially with this fianchetto, like this is not an easy position to attack. Interestingly, though, I can kind of pry things open with that. I think it's probably best to start, though, by just playing normal moves. Let's develop our pieces, and then I can start deciding, am I attacking? How am I attacking? That kind of stuff. Yeah. Where do I want this bishop? So, I don't want to go here, because I want to be able to do stuff with this pawn. I would like to be able to go here, and I guess I can, right? Like, why can't I do that? That looks totally fine. I'll go here, I'll go here, I'll go here, I'll go here, here. Maybe castle long, bring the other rook over. It almost feels like I'm playing against a dragon or something. I don't know. Kind of a weird one. Again, not normally how I would play this, but it just felt right. Okay, so now they have two attackers on this pawn. And they're going to be able to go here, which I think is fine. Let me go here. We're defending it twice. Okay, if they go there, I think what I want to do is just close off the center, actually. My king is kind of stuck in the center. I can go here. I'm attacking them pretty intensely. If I close it off and they jump in here, which is kind of the obvious move, do I have to do anything about that? This pawn will be falling eventually. That is true. If I move him. I'm not taking with the bishop, for sure. I am considering going here, though. And allowing that. The other question is, do I have to do... I guess I do have to do something, because this is 3. I'm going to do this. I don't know. This just feels right to me. Like, if I want to attack them, close off the center, and then they're going to have much less counterattacking capabilities. And I think I can still even go here. No, I can't. This will fall. So this pawn is a little bit annoying. I'm a little bit tempted to go like here and here and protect it that way. I suppose maybe something like this could be very annoying. And so maybe that's not a long-term solution. So I think this is probably the best long-term solution. And once again, if they want to take here, I think I'm taking with the king even. And then going here, rook here, and I think I'm quite happy with that. The one downside on that is they can probably just castle long still. Like, they are not committed to a short side castle. And in fact, I think with how this game is developed, it would be somewhat foolish of them to castle short side. So let's see what they do here. I'm predicting either queen to d7, queen to h4, which I don't think would be great. or knight f6 or knight e7. Like, I think a reasonable set of moves for my opponent would be like this, castles, f4, f5, and do something with that. That feels reasonable to me. That's interesting. I think I like that. It makes it a little bit harder for them to castle queenside. I can just go here. I'm not intending to take that knight off, so like this feels very Pillsbury attack-ish of like I take the knight, they take, their pawns are pretty nice. They're pretty aggressive, but I'm not doing that. I've just decided the knight can stay there. I don't think it's that big of an impact. The king is backing it up. I guess the worrying part is, okay, that I think is a good idea. And I think what makes it so strong is that pushing would be annoying. That's what I'm really most worried about, which makes me think I probably have to take. Probably I have to take here, because if they push, in my position, I feel like it's much worse. It's like push, takes here. They have, I don't. It looks like they're both have a space advantage and good pawns. So if I take and they take, they're still threatening that. I think then I would push here. They would probably push there. But then this is a weakness. I don't like that I would be blunting my own pieces there. Not sure what else I'm supposed to do here. This looks like quite a good move. Alright, I'm going to go here, and the idea is after here, I think I can just go here. And I'm, like, in. And I can, in fact, start with this maybe even. Hitting that. And then go here. So, I don't know. It seems pretty reasonable. What I do have to keep straight in my head is there are a lot of things being hit. I kind of want a long castle. I guess it's fine. I guess my point is I don't want this queen to be an overloaded queen. The queen's job is currently going to be to back this piece up. It looks like the queen is doing lots of things, but I really only want this to be its job, so I can do things like here, or perhaps here, depending if this knight moves. So I have to really keep clear, like, the queen is not backing up this bishop, so I can't both go this. Okay. Yeah, I think I want to go here. And then here? Okay, what if I go here first? I guess I could go here. I go here. Maybe a lot of trades. I don't think that looks that great for me. I have some interesting things with this move of hitting both this square and this square. Obviously, this guy's here for the moment. I think I'm going to go here first. Get outside whatever's happening with this. I always still have this. If they take here, I'm not taking. I'm still trying to decide if I play this move. If I do and they push through, I guess I have this idea. Maybe not immediately, but I should be able to undermine these pawns. Okay. So just moving. Seems quite reasonable. The other nice thing about moving this pawn is I no longer have to keep backing it up, which is something. Question is, can I allow this? That's really the long and short of it. And I just don't think I can. I think I want to go here instead. And I don't think they'll take here. That just looks bad. Unless their thought, oh, I didn't even think about this. Also, I'm cutting this king off now. So the king is temporarily at least stuck in the middle. I like that. Oh, wow. I also have this now. Holy cow. Is there something amazing here? Hold on, let's do some thinking. That check can't actually be stopped. The king can only go to f8. If the king goes to f8, my rook can still go to g1, start pressuring that way. I mean, there's no downside, I think, to going here. It's just freeing up space. Now I can go like that if I want. Oh, boy. This looks very promising. Now, how do we bring it home from here? All I have to do is check the king and its mate. But that looks pretty impossible. How can I... Like, if I could bring this knight in somehow. Like here, here, here. What about here, here? Takes? That would be pretty decent for me. It does awaken this bishop a bit, especially if the bishop just takes. I'm looking at castling long here. There's a possibility to just get this other rook in. I'm looking at rook here to have this. I'm just not seeing a way to win. And I think I just have to take the advice I've been reading, which is like, okay, then just make your pieces better. You might not be able to win. So the question is does castling long give them counterplay that they don't currently have? That's really what I'm looking at. And I'm wondering if maybe a better idea is to go like here and here with the king. I guess I should look even. What if this? I think what I want to do is get this knight more involved by going here. If he takes, that's wonderful. If not, I'm scooching out over here. I don't really have a move I like. That seems weird. Like, my position's so good, but I can't find a way to make it better. So I guess just targeting this pawn is probably good. That pawn's very weak. I don't see anything better than that. Real quick, if here takes, I think is fine for me. Temporarily, at least. If they go like here, then I probably just want to castle along. Because of the problems with here, 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 that file being open. So again, I'm not planning to take that knight. Although, I guess now that I look at it, I was thinking that that bishop was blocked off, but I let the bishop out. No, I didn't let them. The bishop was coming out either way. Okay. Yeah, I've been working under the assumption that that is a dead bishop. That is not a dead bishop. I should definitely get this rook out of here. I think, in fact, the answer here is castling short. I think castling long here would be very dicey. Maybe here. Because it looks like there's nothing on the queen side, but suddenly there can be a lot on the queen side in a very short amount of time. The dream, I think, would be takes with the king. Then bring... I think that would be the fastest way for me to operate. But if I have to go slow and go here and here and here, I think that's fine. I wonder if something like this would be good for my opponent. And if they did that, then I might feel compelled to just go here. But I might even go here and take here and have the 2-on-1. But then this 2-on-1 in the middle is a little weird. Like, a game For as dominating as my position looks, or I'm thinking it is, I don't know that it is. Like, at a minimum, it feels like there's a lot happening. And I do quite like the idea of going here and tying the queen to this spot. Most likely, the knight will go to one of these two squares and at least attempt to develop. I kind of like knight here, actually. And then maybe here. Well, I'm recording this on Father's Day, so happy post-Father's Day to all the fathers. This probably won't be out for several weeks. I've just been playing games, recording them, and then, posting them in order. So I guess another question is, should I be channeling Karpov now and going, okay, I'm doing great on the king side. Let's also get some action going on the queen side. Like, instead of moving this knight over, I could have gone like here, and said, maybe we can get something going on there. I think if I go here, maybe they just go there. Okay, so that seems like a reasonable idea. Get the knight involved. The knight could even go there. The knight's hitting this piece. I'm pretty tempted to go here and just let them trade here if they really want. Like, it's probably worse for me. But really, I don't have a lot of choices with this bishop. The bishop is doing a good job restraining the king, but not much more. If I take... Oh, yeah, if I do that and castle, like, suddenly... they've got a lot going on that file. That's kind of intriguing. Yeah, I think I'm going to allow these to be traded. And this does just leave the knight here. Oh, I think that was a mistake. No, never mind. I was going to say I thought it was a mistake because I could take here. But then they're going to take here. Ooh, and then I could have gone here. Check. Okay, yeah, that was a mistake. I should have gone that way. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Oh, and this is game. I lost. Simple as that. I just lost. Oh, that's that's very unfortunate, because I remembered a long time ago that bishop was controlling that square, and that was very critical. And then in the mess of all of the complications of the position, I'd let that piece go. Now the game's just over. Unless I can find something very clever here. Let's take a moment. I almost hit the resign button, then I was like, well, maybe there's something clever. That's why I have to move the king. So, okay, let's move the king. They get the queen. And then what? Yeah, there really isn't anything here. Here. Yeah, we can resign. Okay, so I want to skip to the end to that last move I made, which I think was potentially interesting. Which was, instead of backing up the queen, what if I just took this knight? If they proceeded to take anyway, then this looks quite strong. I don't know. Let's see what the engine says where they should go. They should go to E8. Okay, sure. And now it feels like they have very little counterplay. This knight is just ridiculously strong. I don't know what we're doing next, but things look better. I could maybe now go here, maybe even castle. Let's see what the computer says. I'm just curious what. Okay, yeah. So rook g1 or castle's long. Castling short is not in the cards, or even here to hit this. But basically, we're crushing here. And so then the other question would be, well, what if they just take here first? Then what? At that point, now I can retreat, whereas before I couldn't. It does say black is winning now, and that the best move is retreating. Okay, and then what about, was there a better move? No. Best move was this by far. So at this point, we're losing. I'm still thinking I'm winning. Let's see. Let's go all the way back to here. This brilliant move of mine, the computer says is not a brilliant move. And now we're losing. Not by much, but almost a whole pawn. We should castle along and try to hold things together that way. And we are losing. So that is a fascinating misevaluation on my part. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm also curious, like... Okay, yeah. Knight f3 is still the main move, not e4. Okay, yeah, so here... This move... let's see what the computer says here. I'm curious. Yes, this move is the better move. This move is the wilder move, right? It's not bad. I'm still winning. According to the engine, I mean, I'm not winning, but... Okay, so let's see where things kind of go off the rails. Because I feel like I got a very healthy position. Okay, this is a big moment. I decided to push, and I was pretty clear why, right? I thought, well, if I'm going to be the attacker, closing out the middle will be good. And the engine is like, no, that's not a good idea. The engine wants me to take. Takes back. Takes, and this does not look like I have a big attack. What I do have is a pretty nicely placed knight. If they try to duplicate that, I have that. So probably not doing that. Yeah. So this gives them a really good knight. And I somehow rationalized to myself that it's fine. The knight doesn't actually hit that many important squares. I can just go along with my plans. Also, by the way, remember I said h4 was something I wanted to do? Every move, the computer's like, you should be playing h4. And I'm always like, nah, I'll get to it, don't worry. And then I never got to it. Interestingly, this was the move that I thought was great. And the computer says this is a terrible move. And the move the computer likes is to continue just consolidating the position. You have this amazing knight. There's no reason to weaken your position. So this, the computer says that I am winning. And that f4 or castles long or rook g1 are all best, or even h4. And I mentioned all of those moves, and instead I played this move, which I thought was really clever. Because now I can play rook g1. And then I didn't, because I didn't want this stuff. And now, like, just glancing at this without being in the narrative of the game, it's pretty impossible to try to make a claim that white is better, right? Like, I'm still claiming white's better here while I'm playing it. As a now observer of the game, just glancing at it, I'm like, well, let's look. Is white better? This knight is awesome. This bishop is going to be a menace. Our bishop is, like, not that great. If I put my bishop here, which I'm planning to, this bishop also has very limited scope. Our pawns are terrible. How exactly am I better here? Like, that's kind of a madness statement. And for me, it comes from the narrative that I had built up in my head that, you know, like here, we're attacking here, we're going to attack here, we're going to attack here. I'm better. But I'm not better. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. I was looking at this very seriously and almost played it. Feels like they could still go here. And then now I can't bring my bishop out. And this is such a hard move for me. The engine really wants to play f4. And that just so clashes with what I thought was happening in this game. Was I assumed e4. And now it's like, how can I claim I'm better now? My pieces are all trash. Like, I can't... All of this is gone. Yes, this is here, but who cares? It's backed up. It's not that great. My king's kind of stuck in the middle. Like, how could I claim to be better? And the engine's like, you're not better. It's pretty much even. But I had in my head I was better, so that this move takes away all the things that made my position better. So, the biggest takeaway of this game is really just an utter and complete misevaluation and overly optimistic evaluation of my position. So if I go something like here, here... wow, interesting. The computer wants me to sack the pawn here. Oh, it's not a pawn sack. The bishop's there. But still, now my pawns are even worse. But yeah, like that's how bad my position is. That's the computer's best move, is to make the pawns even worse. So I don't know. It's just this is a fascinating game for me. I feel like there's a lot of reflection here of like how did I convince myself that my position was that good, that I was like, man, I am crushing here. Like this is a big lead, and the computer's like, are we even looking at the same game? Because it is not a big lead. You're down 1.3 and materials even. That means your opponent's position is amazing. And then this lost the game on the spot. Bam! Bam! Game over. So, a fitting end to a just terrible evaluation. So, I'm going to leave you with that. The big takeaway is twofold. When everything gets messy and everything's backing up everything, you gotta hold it, right? You can't lose track of, oh right, this bishop was guarding that. You just can't, right? Like I did have a chance to be less losing by taking here, and in fact that's just straight up winning. They had to take here first. But yeah, this obviously doesn't look great, but at least we're in the game, right? Like anything could happen. It's a rapid game. We could win, but I lost track of that. And then the other thing is just such a radical misevaluation of the position, allowing them freely to get a knight here and going, that's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine. So what? So they have a knight here. So what if it's later going to win the queen? So what? Yeah. So a hard loss, a good lesson, and hopefully it's a lesson I'll be able to take with me. That's the challenge of lessons, right? Do you cast them aside immediately, or do you actually hold on to them? So, see you next time on the road to 2200.